Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Heart Canon Podcast. I'm your host, Epic Ray of Epic Ray Comedy. We're back for another week of not only canon events, but we are back for hard canon events. And this is our part two of the Marauders episode and our deep dive. I'm joined once again by Mari and Remy. How you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Um, and I'm doing all right. How about yourselves?
I'm doing good. It's been a bit of a rough week, but we're all here for some laughs and some enjoyment. But before we dive into the episode, so I was listening to the audiobook for The Goblet of Fire when I was in the car, and I was brought back to an interview that J.K. Rowling did a few years ago where somebody, I believe, I guess this was like a Q&A, and someone asked about the Horcruxes and how they were made. And she did not give a lot of detail, which I'm very, very glad she didn't. She basically said it's some of like the darkest types of things she could not actually describe. And when I was listening to the graveyard chapter of the book, I was reminded of that interview back again. And there's two things that came to mind. The first thing is the chapter Parole Incantatum. The ghostly figures of all Voldemort's victims came out of his wand, and I had to do a check and make sure like I was reading it right. And apparently the Death Eaters could see the ghosts that were there in the graveyard, but they could not hear them. Only Voldemort and Harry could hear them, but all of them could physically see the ghosts themselves. And one thing by hearing that, I also realized that this was probably the first time that Wormtail has seen James and Lily since they died those 13 years ago. And I can only imagine what he was feeling in that moment.
I can
Dear
imagine the death
God.
glare that both of them are given to him. It's just they pop out of the wand. They see their son. They're all happy. They see Voldemort. They're like, "Oh, great, it's you!" And then they just swivel and see Pettigrew, and they're like, "You."
Like Voldemort's an afterthought at this point. It's like you're the one, like you did this.
It's like we don't care that
Never
the
thought
Dark
about
Lord is
that.
here.
And it was just really chilling because I rewinded like I think like three times just to be sure that like one I was hearing the scene right, but I had to do a little bit more research and to make sure that I was accurate in thinking that the Death Eaters saw all the victims. So the victims were Cedric Diggory, Frank Bryce, Bertha Jorkins, and then Harry and Harry's mom and dad. So all of them appeared in that graveyard. And for Wormtail, I'm pretty sure this was just a chilling thing. Like you're seeing the people that you betrayed in ghostly form, and like I wouldn't be surprised if he wet himself or something like that, or it sent chills down his bones. Like there's one thing to be scared of the person
All of the
who,
above.
huh? It's something to be chilled by that, but to just be able to see the ones that you betrayed and then like have to look them not directly in the face, but see them.
Yeah, that's probably going to be rather chilling as well.
I would definitely agree.
Especially, especially when you've got to consider as well, he probably didn't ever think he would ever see them again.
True, very
Probably
true.
not. Like,
It's like
hey, I
maybe something
betrayed
that,
a person and they got killed. I'm gonna see them again. No, no, you're really not.
or it's like, or if you are going to see them, they're really not going to want to see you.
And like I can
Well,
imagine.
think about it this way. Sirius wanted to kill him when he saw him.
True, very true. On site, as a matter of fact, on site. Because if I
Like,
remember
he
that
even tried to
chapter,
kill him in rat form.
because I remember that chapter very, very vividly. Like when he got changed back to his human form, like immediately Sirius was raising his wand just to literally blow him to bits. Like he was ready.
12 years in Azkaban.
Bad. I've done my waiting.
That meme has gone so viral. Like it's such a sad moment from the movie, but it's just it's gotten so much attention just from that. Oh man.
Everyone jokes about it all the time.
Like it's between that and the what is it, the Anakin hates sand meme, when not realizing like in both these scenes the characters are extremely traumatized by these two things. Like it's a lot.
They really are.
And then
To you.
the second point I wanted to put out, when the spell, when the two wands were connected, um like I said, J.K. Rowling didn't explain the process of the Horcruxes, but between the time that Harry's parents died and that moment in the graveyard, I believe there was one Horcrux
Yeah,
made it
looking.
between then, and I think that was used with Bertha Jorkin's death, I believe. And what Dumbledore said in the next chapter was that the spell, when the spell's active, it kind of just replays the spells in reverse, the most recent and then the latest ones afterwards. So from that point, the chapter basically describes like there's a bunch of screaming echoes done from the wand. We're hearing not only the dark parts of what happened to Bertha, but we're hearing the process of the Horcruxes being made. Because the spell itself
Wow.
can't the spell itself can't be reproduced because it doesn't have a physical form. But like when Wormtail's spell came out, it was basically a hand, or like when the victims came out, they came out in their ghosts. But the spell itself can't be reproduced in physical form. But we're hearing the effects of it in that chapter.
Hmm.
And it was one of those things that I was like pointing out because like again, between when his parents died and to that point, there was a Horcrux made, and the Horcrux was Nagini, but the process we never figured out, but we can hear it through what Voldemort's wand was echoing in that chapter. So we got a
That's
mild
kind
glimpse
of
of it.
creepy.
That yeah, it's very very creepy. We got a mild glimpse of it, of what it was, but we'll never know. And I'm thankfully she will never tell about it because that's probably a subject she does not want to get into. And the last thing we
I
need is
wouldn't
people
want to
trying
get
to
into that
copycat it.
subject. I read dark stuff and I wouldn't want to get into that.
There have been ideas about it, but I'm just gonna confirm. I'm just gonna just like say just openly like they're probably all wrong, and we'll probably, and I'm glad she'll probably take that secret to the grave with her, and hopefully that she will. She won't ever like tell of it.
There's probably one person out there that managed to figure it out, but he'll never know because she'll take that secret to the grave.
Something tells me she's
Hmm.
probably scrolled online and probably heard it being said. She's like, well, they're right, but I'm not gonna tell them that they're right.
Yup.
So congratulations, you got it. I'm not saying anything about this.
And it, but that was just something I found like just mildly like I found, now I want to say fascinating, just like eye openings. Like we'll never know, but we got a glimpse of it in the fourth book in a small way.
Yeah, but also to bring that back, you were listening to the audiobook when you realized that. That's the one thing I absolutely love about audiobooks is because you can reread the book 1,000 times, but unless you hear it, sometimes you miss things.
Oh, definitely for sure, definitely. That's why like
I was
for
rereading another book recently that I was like, oh my God, I don't remember that because I didn't hear it.
and like the best part of it is you're able to rewind it in your mind in a way. It was like, wait, I remember reading that, but I don't remember reading that in that, like understanding it in that point. Because sometimes we read a chapter and we read it, but we don't understand it, what's going on in the chapter until like our probably our second read through of it.
Yeah, either that or you finally you go, oh, I don't want to read this. I want to listen to it this time. And you listen to it and it's said in a certain way, and you're just like, that is not how I thought that was said. And it brings whole new meaning to it when it's said a certain way.
Definitely. Like I'm gonna try and get some more audiobooks and listen in on things. I'm not gonna carry the book with me, but like just hear it said from a different perspective because you like again you'll see or hear things that you didn't expect in the book and makes you go back to the book. I'm like, wait, is that actually in the book? And it actually is.
Yeah.
But we're gonna jump straight into the episode. That was just a small tangent I did want to go on to, but the so we're gonna jump back into the Marauders, and this time we're gonna start with Lupin.
Love
And
Lupin.
Lupin of the four, I think, is the most level-headed of the four, essentially. And he has the
That's an understatement.
yeah, and as much as he feels guilty about not reprimanding his friends a lot when they were in school, he actually, I believe, kept them out of trouble more times than I can possibly think. Because if we had just left them, if he just left them to their devices, pretty much, and just like, yeah, I'm not stepping in this, like something tells you they would have gotten a lot more trouble than they would have.
Yeah. I think trouble
Yeah,
would
something
definitely be in
tells
the
me he stepped in.
Go ahead, Mari. I didn't hear you. Say it again.
You're good. Something tells me, yeah, he stepped in a lot more than he probably thought he did,
I
um,
think so too.
and kept
Yeah.
them out of more trouble.
And then one of the things also is that, like, in the sixth book, when Harry gets that detention, like Snape brings out this big old box of like, I'm guessing their detentions or whatever, like detention slips. I'm not sure what exactly they're called, but the fact that they have an entire box dedicated to their mischievous deeds says a lot.
Also, why the hell did they keep the detention slips that long?
I think sometimes it could be when they have to do like when people do research for like books or possibly like police reports or something like that, they keep the records just to be on file, like, okay, what were they like in school, what was their personality like, because sometimes they're used for those specific reasons to get background
That's
research on
fair.
like onto someone.
That's
on the
fair.
flip side as well, it is Snape, so it's not far fetched that he would keep a record of essentially his most hated, like his most hated people at school, and show him when they're at their lowest,
True, that also
or
makes
at least
Yeah,
sense.
when, or at
no,
least when
that's
they've got
fair.
yeah, like consequences put against them.
It wouldn't surprise me also that they probably were going to throw them out. Snape's like, you know what, let me keep it so I can just throw it in that kid's face later on in life.
Oh, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
memento.
As much as I love Snape, his train of thought sometimes was just like, excuse me?
I actually to jump on that note, the with the fourth, when I was reading listening to the fourth book, there are only two times in the entire series where you hear that Dumbledore is disgusted with some, like it's in the book, like it says he's disgusted with someone, and it's with Barty Crouch Jr. after he gets done telling a story. And then when he meets Snape in the seventh book, like the chapter visibly says that he's disgusted by him. So that says a lot.
Yeah. Like, as in, I like him as in, like, he's a well written character. But if I knew this man in person, I would not like him in the slightest.
No,
Like,
Like,
being a writer myself, he is so well written. He is such a great character. But I hate him.
he's that character, like, I despise you so much, but the way you like the way you're written, the way you talk and act, like it's beautifully done. And then like when you get the revelation of what he was doing and why he was doing it, like you understand it so much more now.
You're a psychopath, is what you are. And not the good type of psychopath either.
There's a good type.
I was about to say the same thing.
I mean, in books, there is a. I'm guessing in books there is a type of one. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking about the books I read. We're good.
And then, what was it like? With Lupin, also he seems the one to be the most, I think I would say, guilt ridden of the group, because even though he laughs and jokes with his friends the most, he still feels guilty about like bringing his friends into his mess, even though they're voluntarily being a part of his life. Like even after school and everything, I'm pretty sure had things gone differently, Lupin wouldn't have been homeless at all. He would not have been on his own. Like he'd been welcomed either with Sirius or with James, because they're not gonna let their friend just live out in the cold. And I'm pretty sure they would have tried to help him get a good job somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if Lupin got the Defense Against the Dark Arts job, honestly.
Yeah, he
And
would. He would. He is definitely more guilt ridden than the rest. Even if they voluntarily did everything they did, he still feels bad that he dragged them into everything. Um, and I think that's more of a trauma thing than anything when it comes to him.
like he doesn't go into the detail much of his bite, but you can tell that it was more than likely probably a chilling experience for him, because from what I have read about Fenrir Greyback, Lupin got probably the most tame version of a Fenrir Greyback attack, because from what they said in the book to what I read online, he does not leave survivors a lot. So this was pretty much a planned attack that he did, and either Lupin's dad fought him off, or he managed to just get in, do what he did, and then left. Pretty much, because the
Yeah.
fact that Lupin survived says a lot as well.
Yeah. As far as I know, I think there's only like two people that survived his attack.
Two, yeah, you're absolutely right. Two, and the two that we know of are only Bill and Lupin.
Yeah, exactly. That was my train of thought. I was like, as far as I know, Fenrir doesn't leave people at all. Lupin was the very first person he ever left, and I think it was more out of like spite type of thing. And then Bill just managed to fight him off.
Very, very true. And then even when they left like school and everything, Lupin had, I think, what was it? Lupin probably reminisced about his friends the most, especially after Lily and James died, because he probably felt the most alone, because Sirius was locked up. Peter, he believed, was dead, and Lily and James were both gone. So he probably felt the most lonely out of the group. Even though Sirius was in Azkaban, like there was no one he could turn to. There was no one he could actually speak to openly that much. So,
Yeah.
and I think his
Thought he was the only one left.
say again.
He thought he was the only one left, and he thought it was his fault that he was the only one left.
And for him, it was definitely something that he ultimately like. I'm glad. I'm happy he got. So I'm kind of mid with his ending the way he got, because he got the family that he wanted, but he never got the chance to enjoy it. But he did for a moment, a
Yeah.
brief moment in his life. He did get to have some happiness. He get to have a wife. Did get to have a son, and did get to enjoy that. However brief it was, he did get that small portion of happiness that he didn't have after his friends all passed away. And I understand why J.K. Rowling did ultimately kill him off, because it from what she said about Lupin's character is that in war there are kids that are made orphans, and she had to orphan at least one kid in that entire story. And you know, she did not have the balls to kill off Arthur and Molly. They weren't. She wasn't going to do that.
Oh God, no. I don't think you could.
You couldn't. You definitely
I
couldn't.
just don't think they're the right characters to try and do that. Molly is gonna fight for her life to the very last second, and Arthur's just stubborn.
Also, I'm pretty sure if she had killed off Molly or Arthur, I'm pretty sure there would have been an actual riot.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, she did say that she did think about killing Arthur in the fifth book and letting Sirius live. That was a big consideration. She had heavily considered that.
I don't think
However, it was
Arthur would have been
also
as much of a riot as the rest of them, though.
well, the way that I'm seeing it is Arthur was definitely more of a like yes, Sirius was family to Harry. However, Arthur definitely was a bit more of a father figure to Harry, at least somewhat.
True.
But
Yeah.
for like character growth, I definitely think Sirius was definitely the better choice to unfortunately kill off at that point.
Because
Because then
yeah, go ahead, go ahead, finish.
I was just going to say it then prompted that that character growth from Harry and also the rest of the main cast as well, because then they have to kind of navigate around Harry at the same time as trying to console him, but also continue on with fighting Voldemort and also doing school.
I can't imagine if she had killed off, if she honestly had killed off either Ron or Hermione, because the story wouldn't have ended the way it would have.
Oh, it would have started to fall apart very quickly.
Because that epilogue would not have been as good in any way if she had killed off either Ron or Hermione. Because she had no intention of killing Harry off, none. But if she had killed one of either Ron or Hermione, it would have been a very difficult epilogue.
Yeah. There are certain characters that I don't think you ever could have killed off. And then there's others where I'm like, yeah, you definitely had to kill this character off.
Like with I knew she couldn't kill Neville off because Neville's story was still need to be written, and I think people loved Luna so much that I think she was also safe as well.
No, I call bullshit on that because people loved the Weasley twins so much, and she turned around and killed the Weasley twins, or at least one of them.
Yeah, and like I said, she had heavily considered. She was debating on it heavily on whether she was going to kill Arthur because, like she said in the interview, she was heavily considering doing it as a way of just leaving trauma to the Weasley family. Like, you know what, we want to leave at least one dad alive, so let's just take out a son. I'm like, I don't know what your thinking is with that, but yeah, sure, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Like, I'm sorry, if you're gonna kill off any of the sons, kill off Percy.
That actually would have messed Fred up, and it probably would have messed up Molly because Fred and Percy are two totally different people, yet I think there's a connection there between the two that, you know, Fred's the one that's like really like not loved more by the family, but like he's very, very accepted. Like people want to be around him. People don't want to be around Percy. And to lose Percy, that's the person, like they were the balance of the family pretty much. Like Percy was the black sheep, and Fred was like the guy that with him and George, they were like the ones that brought like that laugh in those tense moments that their family needed.
Yeah.
And to lose one would have like a very, very deep hurting for the other.
That's fair. Never thought about it that way.
And
He's still my least favorite.
I'm still a Charlie fan. I'm sorry. Arthur's my favorite Weasley, but I love Charlie so much more.
My favorite Weasley is Bill.
Remy, you got a favorite Weasley?
Not really thought about it, to be honest.
I'm sorry, you've been friends with me and Raheem for how long, and you've never thought about who your favorite Weasley is?
Yeah. It's yeah. To be honest, I'm not. I'm not.
You've been friends with me for how long?
A good while. We've been friends since 2018. So like a good while, my friend.
Yeah, it's almost a decade at this point. Oh God, it's been almost a decade. Where is the time gone?
Yeah, how do you think I feel reconnecting with my high school friends and realize I've known them since for almost 2 decades now?
Oh, Trust me, I'm in that same boat. Like I have been slightly putting off trying to like reconnecting with my old secondary school friends down here.
I'll be hitting 20 years of my high school in about 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Uh, I I hit 10 years 2 years ago, so
Nice, nice.
I got some time until I hit my 20.
I don't even know what we're gonna do on our 20th because hardly anybody talks with each other. We might just do like something at a bar and just have a like a reminisce or something like that. I'm not even entirely sure.
We didn't even do anything for our 10th. So
Same. But and then we'll jump into the last Marauder, Peter, my least favorite Marauder.
I'm pretty sure he is everyone's least favorite.
I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that's just trolling, saying I like Peter more than all of them.
Yeah, but that's probably also the same type of people who will be rooting for Voldemort and would unironically go, "Yeah, I would make a great Death Eater."
Honestly, there are a lot of people out there that are hardcore like Death Eater fans. I'm like, you're
The
rooting for the
Phoenix.
guy that wants to destroy the entire Wizarding World. Like, do you just hate fun? Is that's what this is? Like I don't have I don't have Slytherin hate. I don't because there are good Slytherins out there, but to essentially be rooting for the
Slytherins are
Death
great.
Eaters, knowing what a lot of them have done to people, like look at what Bellatrix did to Neville's parents, and you tell me you're rooting for that side?
Yeah. Well, I will say the story
Fair.
definitely, like 100%, gears towards like the heroes, which of course every single book and movie does.
Yes,
But yeah,
very true.
there's always a reason. But yeah, definitely in the I'm definitely in the Bellatrix, there was no reason for that. She was just doing that for fun.
Yeah, honestly, I
Yet I
think
know
that.
somebody who absolutely loves Bellatrix.
Wait, Mari, do I know this person?
Yes,
I worked with this person for a while.
you both do.
Really? Oh,
I think.
we'll talk about that off screen because I actually would know who that is.
Yeah.
I'm actually not going to go that deep in the pedigree because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We don't really like him that much, but so the canon moments for the Marauders, um, going back and looking at all of them, like together, working together, and everything. I would have to say there are 2 points that I have so far that I would say like set them all down this destiny of them all becoming friends, working together, creating the Marauders map and everything. I think it ultimately starts with Lupin getting bit by Fenrir.
Yes. Because if he was never bit, he never would have become a werewolf. And the boys would have never become animaguses.
True. And I think like Lupin's mindset would have also been a lot more different with his friends because he was very cautious because of his condition, and it made him a very very um you think before you react type of person. I'm not sure if there's a word for it, but I want to say cautious, but forward thinking I would probably say.
Yeah.
And then what was it? I think also all of them meeting at Hogwarts on their first day because James and Sirius already knew each other. I think Lupin and Pettigrew showed up. I think a little bit after that, but those are my 2 points. Like I think Lupin getting bit, and then them all meeting at Hogwarts together.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, I think those are definitely good spots.
and to take a little bit further, I think the story ultimately, like I think Voldemort's ultimate downfall starts with that pretty much with Lupin getting bit because with Lupin getting bit, they all become friends, they all become animagus, they do all this stuff at Hogwarts, and James ultimately gets together with Lily, which I'm pretty sure he was helped by that with Lupin telling him to not to have such a swollen head. And by doing so, they got together, they got married, and Harry was ultimately born, which caused Voldemort's downfall. So I think the fall of Voldemort ultimately started there. So I honestly have to say a Death Eater is responsible for Voldemort's downfall, which is the one thing that he was actively trying to avoid with being betrayed, when it was literally the action of his Death Eaters that caused his demise.
That's actually kind of funny to think about.
Say again?
That's actually kind of funny to think about. I'm gonna get betrayed! No, you weren't, but it still ended up being your downfall.
He's just that gung ho about being betrayed.
Like his one of his most loyal Death Eaters, Snape, was literally hand in hand. One of the reasons he was reason that he fell, and then one of them, who he didn't honestly probably even fully consider as a Death Eater, but was just a part of his group, started the chain reaction that ultimately led to two downfalls. I'm gonna say two because he technically died in Godric's Hollow, and he died at the Battle of Hogwarts. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Death Eaters were definitely his downfall. This is why you don't have 20,000 followers.
I don't even know what I would do with 20,000 followers, honestly.
Just cry a lot at that point.
I'm like, why are you guys all here?
So
Like, go home.
So there's too many people here.
We're here to follow you. No, go home. Go do something with your lives.
What do I do that you need to follow me? I need my friends. You are not my friends. I don't know who any of you are.
Like this.
All I can think of right now is the scene out of Treasure Planet when Dr. Dilbert is sat at the table with his bowl of soup. The child comes up and he's like, "Go away. Are your parents around? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?"
I actually really love that scene.
It's great. Also, leave it to you to pull a scene from my favorite movie.
Are you new?
Say again?
It's like, are you new?
Oh man, it's Treasure Planet is something different. It is. But
Yes, it is.
But
Anyway.
ultimately, as we're gonna wrap this story up. It's gonna be a short video because this is a continuation of the second one. I think we all agree pretty much that the biting of Remus Lupin and them all meeting at Hogwarts is probably their absolute canon event. What would you guys say? We're on point with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So as we wrap this episode up, do we have any more comments or thoughts or anything else we want to go over before we wrap this one up?
No, I do not.
No, not on my end.
All right, as we close this episode out, we have figured out the hard canon truth of the Marauders. So the next episode we'll be going over. We'll probably be jumping back into D&D. Now that I have Mario with me, we can do a lot more discussions and actually have a lot more stories to go over. And we'll catch you in the next one. We'll see you.
See you later.
Have a good one.